I just want to show you this setup. This is my trekking pole. You know, I didn't take this out in the field, but we're at this cool Airbnb, and I wanted to set up the radio out front, and the front looks a lot like your common desert. But I thought it'd be worthwhile to talk a little bit about this H31 Bandit. Now, it's designed as a super light pack. I think it's like, it's less than 1,000 cubic inches. It's got these water bottle pocket pouches on the outside. You know, as far as packing the FT-891, it's got a pretty tight fit inside, and I'll show you that here in a second. But you know, once I get a smaller, more QRP oriented radio, this pack will be able to hold a lot more than just the radio and battery. So so quite a few things are actually on the outside, but I do plan to use this for hunting as well. So this kind of fits two purposes. It is a great bag. So basically at the moment it's entirely a comms bag. You see here a bag that's got Coax, just it's got an RG174 coax and then an RG8X. Got the 831. I've actually got a little tiny survival kit in here. I've got basic meds, including my migraine medicine, a way to deal with fire. So this actually makes it so this little bag could be an emergency overnight bag. And there's Benadryl in here, there's bandages, there's even tape, very small scissors, a lighter, a ferro rod, really basic stuff. But you can see in here, I've got the battery padded in the original packaging for travel. Really handy, this is my standalone charging kit. I actually left the radio, the transceiver on, the little handheld on the trip down here, so I had to charge that. It actually consumed about half of this 25 amp hour or 2.5 amp hour battery pack. But it did fully charge that. And then over here, I've got some information about Capitol Reef, which is close to where we are. Spare pair of shades. Then an extra little utility bag and the lens cloth for the glasses I have on. So here's the antenna, here's the battery, and the radio is just nice and snug in there. And this is obviously detached. So, and then on the back, I've got that huge Abbree antenna. But I'll tell you a little bit about where I am. Out there, right there above my fingertip, there are several repeater towers that have nothing to do with radio, ham radio communication. The closest repeater here is easily, I feel like 75 miles to my west and 75 miles to my east. And this is my view directly north. There is no 2-meter communication happening with a repeater in this area. Secondly, I've had the radio on the national calling frequency 14652 for hours and days on end at this point, and there's been absolutely nothing but utter silence. And so ham radio activity isn't huge here, and that's something to keep in mind if you are traveling with your radio.
People buying and standing in line to buy houses and everything else.
All right, so this is a super handy little shelter for the radio. So in a pinch, if the weather picks up, like I just had the wind pick up, blew a bunch of dust around, bushes flying everywhere because, you know, it's the desert, I was able to zip that closed and generally shelter this radio. So that's really cool. Normally in the hunting world, I'd probably consider this a tree stand radio, or a tree stand pack. But man, I am really excited to get a smaller radio because this will operate so well. Plus I'll be able to carry some more gear. But you can see I'm running about 20 feet of the RG8X out to my antenna. See my mast out there. I actually just strung the mast to the tent vents. That's my my trusty Amazon fishing pole. And again, that seems to be working really well. It's really tough to pound stakes that would stay in place enough to make my guy system work. As you guys know, I've started using this idea of lashing several hitches around my trekking pole here and getting a pretty sturdy system. Actually, last time I had this set up was last weekend out in Richfield, and I had a antenna that stood up to quite a bit of wind, and it was this antenna. I mean, it's just the configuration worked out really well. So for those of you who don't know, this is the KM4ACK antenna done out of Jason of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. You can see my noise floor there? It's just so minimal. And that has a lot to do with the fact that there's basically no industrial anything out here. The nearest power line is right up there past that house. And there's quite a bit of silence out here in general. There's no power manufacturer, there's no warehouses, there's not a Walmart where people are using mirrors radios. This place is quiet.
It's an older model.